Good evening. Welcome those of you who are here tonight and those who are out in our TV audience. I'd like to call our meeting to order, and if we'll have our roll call, gentlemen, if you'll put yourselves down as present. And now we'll have our invocation and our pledge. Mr. Hammond will do our invocation, and Mr. Webb is going to do our pledge.
Let us pray. For by thy grace we come to God, the life, the truth, the way, whose earthly path thy foot has trod. Master, teach us to pray. We thank you, Lord, for your abundance of mercy and your grace, and for all the many blessings that thou hast allowed us to receive. Forgive us for our transgressions and our sins, for those things you told us not to do that we done, and those things you told us to do that we didn't. In your holy name we pray and ask it all. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. Second. Okay, let's vote, please. Mr. James.
I hit it.
Okay, we have public addresses to the board at this time.
Yes,
Mr.
Madam
Manager.
Chairman, we have two people signed up. If Nancy Colville will come forward first.
Nancy, is he again? I don't know.
If you'll please identify yourself and where you live, please. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nancy Colville. I reside in Greenville, and my address is on file. As you start this year's budget process, please take into consideration the following matters. First and foremost, you need to accept full responsibility for the budget deficit the county is experiencing. Year after year, you have ignored the warnings of the management team and barged ahead with reckless spending. What happened to the $30 million generated from the hospital sale? In January, you went to the basement for an emergency meeting. Away from public scrutiny, you came up with a feel-good solution to the county's financial problem in this election year. You instructed the county manager to bring forward a proposal offering early retirement to employees rather than layoffs based on performance and future replacement needs. It appears that from the beginning, the early retirement package was favored by management and commissioners alike. It avoids conflicts among employees. Over 30 employees have filed for early retirement. How many positions would have been necessary to balance the budget on the delay of scenario? One of the first employees to take advantage of this offer was Melanie Bryan, a member of the management team and finance officers. Other key supervisory positions have joined her in taking your generous offer. Your solution will leave the county with a large void in institutional knowledge that will take months, if not years, to replenish. Now that we know who is retiring, what is going to be, the real cost associated with recruiting and training new employees to fill most of these vacant positions? How will services and delivery time be affected? How many retirees will be back to work on a part-time basis? Is this the best scenario for efficiency? Another matter that should be revisited is the coverage for life of health insurance for commissioners with 12 years of service. County employees do not qualify for this benefit until they have 20 years of service. Isn't it time you do away with this expensive perk, or at least raise the years of service for coverage to 20 years, same as the employees? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Cobble. And our next person,
Next, we have Clark Stallings.
Clark, if you'll come forward, please, and identify yourself and tell us where you live.
I'm Clark Stallings. I live in Greenville, North Carolina. I'm with Greenville Auto Auction. I didn't know if this was the best time to speak. I just signed a form. I know there's an item on the agenda tonight
Okay,
about the sale of
We have 3
surplus.
minutes that you can speak at public address, and unless you're on the agenda, you'll have to use this time.
Yes,
okay.
this is my time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I represent Greenville Auto Auction along with my 3 brothers. We bought it in July of 2010. We have made a request wanting to do business with the county, and we're also talking with the city. There was an article in the newspaper today that I wanted to clarify a few things, that we're more than able to do business with y'all when we're just asking for an open door policy and a common sense approach to look at the services we provide, the value that we can provide, because there's one thing for sure, we've got a good track record. We know that we can do business with you in the sale of your surplus vehicles, and we're just asking for a fair shake to tell you what we can do. We know there's been a little bit of discussion, and the main concern in the paper they was talking about is the public able to come in and purchase vehicles. We have secured a contract with the General Services Administration, which is a government contract, which will begin October 1st of this year. As a part of that contract, they're federal government vehicles. The public has to be a part of that. So that issue is already being taken care of. We would sell these vehicles at the same time that we are executing on our contract with the federal government through the GSA. When we bought that auction, that was about 1 foot in the grave, and we have been resurrecting it. We've got a good track record of doing business. I think you find out we've been good citizens of this community, and I think it makes common sense to try to do business with local people. When all things being equal, you can get a good job and a service provided at a very fair and reasonable price. We employ some 63 people in our county. We have 42 acres of land alone just out there at our auction. We're a good taxpayer, and I just know we can do a great job with you. We're the kind of people, if we tell you we can do something, we're going to do it. If we can't, we'll be the first ones to come back and tell you, hey, look, we tried for you. But I'll be the first one to throw the flag up if we can't. But we've got very large contracts with Enterprise Rental Cars, BB&T, Regional Acceptance Corporation, where we sell thousands plus vehicles just for these accounts alone. We can do what we say that we can do, and we can provide you good value, and we would ask for the opportunity to be able to share that with you in detail. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
You're still out there on Wednesday night?
We are on Tuesday mornings now at 10 a.m. Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is the manager's report. Mr. Elliott.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman. First item are next several meeting dates. June 4th at 9 a.m. is your next regular meeting. Then the agenda says June the 12th, but we've moved the public hearing to June the 5th at 7 p.m. to consider the public hearing on the fiscal year 2012-2013 budget. June 18th then would be your next regular meeting. Your budget workshops for next year will begin tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. for consideration of the manager's budget presentation, and then select department heads who traditionally appear before you beginning tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday if needed. County Assembly Day follows the next week. Also, the next week is reserved for an additional week of budget workshops if needed. We've always calendared that, but you've never had to use it, but it's there if needed. Item D, the UNC, University of North Carolina School of Government's Pella program, have communicated to you a desire to attend their public officials leadership academy, and if there's the majority of the expenses paid through scholarship and membership in the North Carolina City County Management Association. It's a 2-week program coming up this summer, 1 week in July, 1 week in August. I've talked to the chairman about this, and if the board is in agreement to that, I'll pursue that. If not, if I hear from the board individually or collectively, I can then.
How, Madam Chair, how old is this program, Scott? This is a relative new program?
This is their 8th annual class they've done this. And actually, Pella stands for Public Executive Leadership Academy. Item E on the agenda, Mr. Stallings had spoke under the public addresses to the board. There was a request at the last meeting by Commissioner Owens about bringing back some specific information on the number of vehicles, maybe the amount that they would charge and so forth. I have talked to Kevin Wallace out at Greenville Auto Auction. I'm awaiting some information from him in terms of terms, conditions that they would propose. So at this point, and also I think Mr. Stallings mentioned that they have not to this date sold any vehicles, public vehicles, whether city, county, state, or federal, through the auction process. They are getting ready to gear up to do that this fall. So I'm waiting on that, and we can decide how to proceed once that information is submitted.
I think, Madam Chair, he did mention that that starts in October.
Correct, October 1.
Yeah.
Was asked to announce on item F that there will be an all-stop intersection designated at the crossroads of Mobley's Bridge Road and J.C. Galloway Road. I think there was a newspaper article on this. There's been a lot of press on this, but that will be going into place. The last item is from the last meeting where you adopted the policy to prohibit smoking in county buildings and vehicles. There's a portion in there that charges me with designated smoking areas outside the county offices. Phil Dickerson and I are still working on that, and if the board will allow, let us bring that back to you at the next meeting on June the 4th. This will be prior to its adoption, or prior to its actual date of enforcement on July 1, but we're still working that out.
Okay. Any questions about any of that? Okay.
Lee, so you're going to meet with the Stallings and bring more information back as to,
Yes,
I think you need to get those people who, like the sheriff and so forth, to get
Well,
involved.
right now, it's pretty much, it's handled administratively with John Demery, who's the department head for solid waste and recycling. He handles the automobiles. And actually, the selling of the vehicles is actually handled in finance currently through the govdeals.com process. If we switch gears and do some, as they had suggested, as a temporary or a trial program, can try that. But I'm waiting on them to submit the information to see if their terms and conditions would be beneficial to Pitt County.
I think we need to certainly look at it very closely, because you do want to support local people if at all possible.
Sure.
One of the statements that I think was made at the last meeting was for us to see if we could compare the internet sales to the public sales. And I don't know whether we would want to consider tabling it and bringing it back after we have something to compare, once they've started public sales, so we can compare what we're doing on the internet with what is going on out there. That might be something we might want to consider as a board.
In addition to what Commissioner James said, another valuable point that he brought up, that they employ 62 people who are bringing taxes in this county and circulating money. Now you compare just sales, and you're talking about 62 families that's generating money through this county, and by being employed with this company, and that's probably, if you look at it from a financial standpoint, it's more money, even if the internet sales would bring a little bit more than to the cars, an automobile that's being sold. So I think you got to look at a total picture when you look at this whole perspective. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I move that the manager report be received.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is would you like to introduce this?
Sure.
Please.
This is a follow-up to Commissioner Ephraim Smith's comments probably about 2 months back regarding the Northeast Regional School of Agri-Science and Biotechnology. This is located in Plymouth at the Vernon James Center. He had made some comments about anticipation of this school being located in eastern North Carolina. And as a follow-up to that, we had invited Dr. David Peel to come and make a short presentation. He's approaching the podium now as kind of the who, what, why, where, and when of the school, and to further inform the board and the public about the first class that will be admitted this fall, and maybe some of the details of this new school.
All right. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, Madam Chairman.
Raise that up just a tiny
Raise that up a
bit.
little bit.
Thank you. That's fine.
All right. It's a pleasure to be here and discuss the regional school. As you can see, it's up on the screen. So this is the Northeast Regional School of Biotechnology and Agri-Science. We do plan to open this August of 2012, and it will be a STEM school, which means we're going to stress science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. All right, maybe I won't do it. Senate Bill 125 was enacted in legislation last summer. was an act to permit local boards of education to come together and establish a regional school. It's the first time in the state of North Carolina this has happened, and the regional school that we have formed in the for the Northeastern Regional School is the very first one. The Jobs Commission, which stands for Joining Our Businesses and Schools, championed this idea as one of the efforts to increase the workforce and the education of the workforce in North Carolina. It does set forth a regional governance model, which is entirely different from what you're used to, where you have the County Board of Education come talk to the county commissioners. We have no county commissioners above us. We're just a local school board. We are our own local school district. Our budget is based on the pupils. The students that come to us, their ADM money that's assigned by the state of North Carolina will follow this student and come to us. And one of the most attractive selling points we have, that if you complete the course of education, this is also an early college high school, which means that you can complete up to 2 years of college requirements. All the tuition within the UNC system and the community college is waived. So you actually get 2 years of college credit if you qualify to do that for free. All right, we're actually one of the 4 anchor schools that will be established. The only school that's established right now as a regional school is the one that we have for agri-science and biotechnology in Plymouth, North Carolina. Eventually, the state of North Carolina will establish 3 more with 3 different focuses. Ours is on biotechnology and agri-science. The one in Durham will be a part of Duke University, and it'll be focused on medicine and medical benefits. The one at NC State on the Centennial campus, which is the Wake NC State University STEM Early College Program, it will be focused on sustainability and biomass for energy. And then the last one will be down in Carteret County, which is the Early College East High School, which will be aerospace and advanced manufacturing because of the influence of Cherry Point in that particular area. It is part of the North Carolina effort for the Race to the Top. So STEM education is one of the vital parts of that. And so each anchor school will accelerate the development of articulated and coherent curriculum and instruction. And so our job is to really have a very top-notch and have the very best that's available for what North Carolina envisions for its STEM education. As I said, the 4 areas are going to be energy and sustainability, aerospace, health and life sciences, and our particular school is going to be biotechnology and agri-science. And each one will incorporate engineering. Engineering has, when you study engineering, engineering has a central focus and a central theme of how they go about doing problem solving. And each one of these schools will use a various engineering model to be able to solve their issues. So as indicated to you, it is an early college high school. It is going to be focused on STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's also going to be a statewide model. They're going to look at how we do the one in Plymouth and how the other 3 schools, the other 3 anchor schools will be established. But their ultimate goal is to have 20 to 30 regional schools across the state, every one of those schools having a particular focus. So we're the very first one, and we were chosen by the Study Commission, and the legislation approved that in Senate Bill 125 for the northeastern part of North Carolina to be the very first school. It does blend high school with college courses in a 5-year program. So it's the freshman year all the way through the 13th year. So students can earn a high school diploma and also up to 2 years of college credit. And all of our online courses are going to be through NC State University. That's who our educational partner is for this particular school, i.e. our focus on agri-science and biotechnology. STEM schools, and our particular school, is not going to look like a traditional school. It actually looks like organized chaos is what it looks like in the classroom. It is not rows of chairs and a teacher standing in the front lecturing. It's based more on a personalized learning experience. Students, part of it can be what they call project-based learning, where they've actually can have projects that they work on, and in the course of researching that project, they learn science and math. They have to learn the concepts they want, and the teacher is more of a facilitator than a traditional lecturer is what they are. One of the things we will, normally, North Carolina has a big program for one-to-one computer initiatives, so we will have the one-one for computers, and it's going to be hands-on learning. I don't know about, but any of you, but I can learn a lot better when I touch things, feel things, do things, as opposed to just reading in a book. Our goal is that for every student that comes to this school, we'll prepare that student to graduate, and if they choose to go forward, to be ready to go to either a 2-year or 4-year institution. And so we want them to graduate by being flexible and adaptable with competence in math, science, and technology, and the ability to design and communicate solutions to real problems with confidence, ingenuity, and consideration. Like I said, this school will be, and the way the school will be conducted is entirely different from what's traditionally been done. And so it'll be focused a lot more on problem solving for the students. Everything will be trying to emphasize a connection between math and science. We believe that's extremely important for the education in Eastern North Carolina. We're going to integrate technology throughout the whole system, whether it's with individual computers or laptops and being able to surf the web. We're going to introduce and engage the students in the engineering design process, and then we're going to eventually we'll connect all this with extracurricular activities, summer programs, and internships. The North Carolina legislature says that the school year is 185 days. Most Department of Instruction has given most school boards an exemption back to 180 or a waiver. Our minimum is going to be 180 days. Our maximum is going to be 200 days. We're going to take the extra 20 days and fill that in with summer programs and internships for other learning experiences. One of the main reasons is because we're located on the Vernon James Research Center, so we will have access to researchers and scientists from NC State University, and we'll also have access to the normal North Carolina Department of Agriculture staff that is at the Research Center. So the kids will be learning through active solving of real problems. They won't be made up problems. The students themselves will engage in deep conversations. As I told you before, when you walk into the classroom, it looks like organized chaos is what it looks like. So instead, when we were in school, or at least when I was in school, the teacher lectured. If you spoke, you probably got an eraser thrown at you, or you got hit with a ruler, or something happened to calm you down. This is a time where we're going to have interaction among people. They're going to talk to each other all the time. And so in doing that, for every child, whether or not they're the brightest guy in the class or the slowest kid in the class, that'll encourage their creativity, that'll get them involved in their own problem solving, that'll improve their communication skills, and something that's very important to them as they become adults is their collaboration skills to be able to get along with anybody else in their family, their workplace, their civic organizations, their government organizations, wherever they intend to work. Just a thing for a plug for why we're into biotechnology. Biotechnology in the state of North Carolina employs 227,000 people. We're ranked number 3rd for biotechnology employment in the country. We're 2nd in agricultural biotechnology research, and we're 3rd in biomanufacturing. STEM schools, the STEM school that we will have designed, will provide these young people coming out of here with a strong foundational background, if they choose to go directly into the workforce, to be able to go into the workforce of the biotechnology that's in North Carolina. There's also a plan by the state of North Carolina to increase by 2020 by $30 billion the contribution of agriculture to the state of North Carolina's economy, and that's a huge number. Already stated, I think agriculture is close to $90 to $100 billion in the state, and they're talking about a 30% increase by 2020. All right, the 5 participating counties, and each county got to vote on whether or not they wanted to be. So the local Board of Education voted on whether or not they wanted to participate in this regional school. So the 5 counties that we have are Beaufort County, Martin County, Pitt County, Terrell County, and Washington County. So they make up the 5 counties that will be producing this. There could be, the legislature only says that 2 counties have to cooperate. And obviously it's a management act of whether or not you have 5 or 10 or 15 or 20. 20 would be way too much because of geographical distances to be able to do it. 5 gets to be a big problem as far as transportation goes. So the board of directors, somehow we have to have a governance board. So the board of directors are made up 1 representative from each local school board. They get each local school board elected 1 representative to attend. Yours happens to be Worth Forbes, is the one from Pitt County. Then 3 business people were appointed by the Northeast Commission. That's how I got on the job. The superintendent of the host local education district, which our host is Washington County, so the superintendent of Washington County. Then the 5 superintendents got together and they elected 1 more. We have a NCSU representative. In our case, most of y'all would know, would be Benji Forrest. He works at the Vernon James Center. And then once we get students, we will have 1 parent representative. And so that is our board of directors that we meet just like any other state board does on a regular scheduled meeting. Our goal for this first year is to enroll 60 ninth graders for this particular year. Year to date, we have 51 applications. And I gave you the breakdown of where they're coming from. There's today of the applications, there's 15 from Washington County, 11 from Martin, 19 from Pitt, 2 from Beaufort, and 2 from Terrell. As we're doing this very meeting, they're actually having another orientation session tonight at Beaufort County Community College, and so I expect that 2 for Beaufort County to increase us up to our 60 or 65 students, because we want to have 60. Our goal is that next year we will add 2 more grades, the 7th grade and the 10th grade. If you talk to people in education, the Department of Public Instruction, and the New Schools Project, they say the sooner we get these kids and get them into this system, the more successful they'll be. And so we're actually backing up and going to start at 7th grade. It gives us some issues on transportation and the maturity of the kids, but the people who are in education convince me that it's going to happen. And then we tend to grow after the 2nd year by 1 academic class each year. So eventually we'll have grades 7 through 13, all located on the Vernon James campus. Come on, thing. There. Whoops. Somehow.
Somebody's coming.
Help is coming.
Help is good. That's all right. Let me just pull down here where I want to be. That one, Jelly Day. That one. All right, slideshow. All right, slide. Done it once. Oh, my screen goes blank. All right, there's back. Anyway, we're located on the Vernon James Research Center, and that's sort of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture physically owns the property, and NC State University is actually a tenant on there. And so we have to have both organizations working together. So now we're the 3rd government agency that's going to be in that. So y'all can have your own opinions of how 3 government agencies are all going to work together. It will be quite unique. It is in Plymouth and Washington County. Do it this way. So that facility is 32,000 square feet. NCSU does have faculty there. NC Department of Agriculture is there. It's also going to be, it's an off-campus site for North Carolina State. They have a 300-person auditorium. And what we're particularly interested in, especially after we grow to a certain size, is the 7 labs. As y'all know, you've been presented with, I'm sure, budgets from the Pitt County Board of Education about building schools and how much it costs to have a lab inside of a school building. And so they have 7 labs there that we're going to be able to find money for the retrofit for students. So here are our partners. NC State University College of Ag and Life Sciences is our primary partner as far as education goes. The North Carolina State Board of Education, Department of Public Instruction, the New Schools Project. We get strong support also from the Department of Agriculture, the North Carolina Biotechnology Center, and the Jobs Commission. And then Golden Leaf Foundation has supported us with an initial grant to help us get started as far as money, to actually have some money to spend prior to July the 1st. Applications. Any interesting student can apply as an entering 9th grader. We're going to give priority to students who are first in their families to attend college. That's actually the class of people they're working for. And parents and students must sign their application, so it's not like the student can just fill the thing out. And typically there's an interview process that we hired Hal Davis, who used to be the principal of the Beargrass High School, to be our principal. And so Hal is interviewing each one of these students individually to ascertain their interest in the school.
Dr. Peel, are you from Martin or Washington County?
I'm actually from Beaufort County.
From Beaufort.
I actually grew up in Aurora. I'm actually not kidding anybody in that part of the world either.
Uh-huh.
I'm not kidding anybody in Washington County, in Martin County either. If you're interested in our website, I don't know if that's important or not. If you're interested, this is our website, the regional school, if you want to go out and look at that. And then if you want to send us an email, there's that. So, you know, in short, sweet, we're going to be there. We're going to establish a school that we can all be proud of. We're going to establish a school that we believe, what one of our slogans early on was, if you believe in the caliber of education that a student gets if they go to the North Carolina School of Math and Science. We're going to do the caliber of education that you'd get at the School of Math and Science, but we're going to do it in Plymouth, North Carolina. And we're going to do it for any particular student who wants to apply. Because one of our beliefs is that each one of these children that we get has the potential to be successful. And we just need to be able to give them the resources to be able to do that. So I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, let's just start and go down. How about you, Mr. Owens? Okay, Mr. James?
I have a lot of questions. Number one, how much money is the state putting in? And you know, you said when we lose students from Pitt County, we lose that money also. How much is, outside of that, how much money is the state of North Carolina putting into the schools?
The school is based on, similar to a charter school, and charter schools are run off of ADM. What we do not have is the bureaucracy above the school level, so we don't have to run a county.
You're not answering my question. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars are they
Oh,
putting
they're
in?
not putting in any hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They're not going to, in other words, what you're saying is they're going to get the money that the counties would have gotten for these students.
That's correct.
All right.
That's correct.
That I have. The main thing, I was a classroom teacher for 35 years, so I know what it is when you lose good students. You hurt that school very badly, because those are, and the ones that you're going to be getting are going to be some of the best students, the best minds that we have here in Pitt County. I do believe that. So we're going to be hurt in that respect, and there's no question about it. And Pitt County has put millions upon millions of dollars to build the best schools that can be built. All you have to do is to go around and look at these school buildings that we have invested in. And I hate to see the best ones that we have to leave these wonderful schools that we do have, and we do have them. And as I said, when you lose these good students, that classroom teacher knows it, because those are your leaders. And those, we've got schools right now in Pitt County that have lost a lot because the students can leave that school because it didn't make up the par on that. But what concerns me, I guess, more than anything else, I know where the Vernon James Center is. It's not at Plymouth, it's in the boondocks. And I know where the boondocks are. How are they going to get there from Pitt County is what I want to know. Are they going to live there? How long do you think it'll take you to drive? You know, of course, from Pitt County.
I know exactly how long it takes to go from here back to my house in Mary Hill. It takes an hour and 20 minutes.
That's right.
It's going to take an hour and 15 minutes to go from here to the legislature, in its wisdom, in Senate Bill 125, specifically said that each local board of education was to develop a plan for transportation. And the definition of a plan is either you provide transportation or there is no transportation.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've asked enough questions.
Well, no, let me bring up one more thing. Martin County has stepped forward. In Martin County, it says any child that wants to go to Martin County, going from Martin County to the regional school, they will provide transportation. Washington County, since we're right there in that area, says as long as it's convenient for the school bus, we're going to provide transportation.
Yeah, I went there to a meeting hadn't been long ago, by the way. That's the reason I'm asking these questions.
Well, I know.
But I'm on the Mid-East board, and I had to go to Winston to meet. And I'm telling you, it's going to get old for them to ride 2 hours and something every day. But okay, the rest of you can ask some questions. But it's somebody, the superintendent, I just hate to lose the best students that we have to go out of the school systems in Pitt County when we have spent the millions of dollars that we have spent to build these schools up, to make them the best, and to give our students here in Pitt County the best education that we can possibly do.
I understand.
I've said enough, haven't I?
Okay. And Mr. McLaughlin, I'll call on you, but I do want to remind everyone that we invited you to
I
present
know.
this to us
Wait
a minute,
tonight.
That's okay.
Wait a minute, I
And that-
appreciate you.
and
Don't get
that's
me
all,
wrong,
and I
I'm just
just-
asking you questions, though.
I just want to say thank you for being here, and we will continue down, Mr.
No, I
Longhorn.
want to answer the hard question.
No, I know, if you've ever been in education or whatever you've done, you understand.
I want to thank you, Dr. Peel, for that fine presentation. I do realize that agri-science and biotechnology is a wave of the future, and as you presented that, I certainly understand that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. And Mr. Smith is the one who went
I know, he
to your
told me.
initial meeting, and he's the one
I
that
get-
brought
thank
it,
him,
so
right?
you can blame him.
Thank him for this
So
opportunity.
we really appreciated him bringing that to us, so.
I'd just like to
feel bad.
say a few
No, I'm not. Are you kidding?
say a few words about the Vernon James Center. Vernon James Center was set up about 1960 to 62 as a farm that was funded by the legislature to help the farmers in Tidewater region of North Carolina to grow crops. There's no other section in North Carolina that has the same soil and needs the same nourishment that this region uses. And for this school to be set up, it's got plenty of space down there. I don't know how many acres on it, but it's 2,000 or 3,000 acres on this farm.
Right at about 2.
And they grow all different kinds of crops on this farm. And this is going to be very beneficial to the biotech industry. There was one part of it that talked about the aerospace. Can you comment a little bit why that is set up on the future development of this in eastern North Carolina?
Well, it's my understanding, talking with some of the other state committees that I'm on, that aerospace and airplane technology is very important from Goldsboro back down toward Cherry Point. And there's a number of companies through there that they don't build airplanes, but they fabricate parts that go into airplanes. And they need specialized workers to be able to go into those programs.
But tell us why this area is so beneficial.
For agri-science or?
The aircraft industry.
Oh, it's because of that need of those companies building all of those parts to be able to go into airplanes.
And also it has a large no-fly zone that they can fly under 1,000 feet or less without interfering with the Air Force planes.
If you say so. I don't know anything about no-fly zones.
But I think this is the school of the future that you're going to have. It is going to be others set up in North Carolina. They're going to be very beneficial. It's a hands-on approach to education, and I think all industry out there will applaud this. Someone that can work with their hands and fix things. There's always a place for the engineers, but you got to have people to keep things running.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. We appreciate it. And I'll just say thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And I have a grandson who's going to apply.
Really?
Jimmy.
I also want to
He
express our
doesn't know it
appreciation.
yet, but I just.
Our appreciation for you coming. Some of the questions that I had as you were going through your presentation have already been addressed. The first one was, you said it was going to be funded from the state through the ADM dollars.
ADM dollars, yes,
And
sir.
I believe that 19 students here in Pitt County, what's that, about $1,000, $1,100 apiece?
No, sir, it's
So
closer to $4,000 per student.
Total local, state, total of all funding sources.
I'm thinking about the
Local's about
dollars that comes to
1,400.
Pitt County.
Well, our current expense ADM is about 1,400 plus, 1,450-ish.
Okay, so $23,000 for Pitt County, right?
Well, times
It's
19
only
students.
19 students.
19 times that
19.
About
amount.
80 grand, sir.
About 80, that's right.
Okay.
About $4,000 per student. You have such a big population in Pitt County that the bigger counties, you can call it penalized, you can talk to the legislature all you want to, but bigger counties get less ADM than smaller counties like Terrell. Terrell County, because of the size of their school, they're almost averaging $9,000 per student. coming in for ADM to be able to run the school. But in Pitt County, your population is so much greater. Yours is about half of that, so yours is about $4,000. So if we end up with 20 children from Pitt County, it's going to cost Pitt County $80,000, and there's just no way around it. That's what it's going to cost.
How about do you know what Pitt County is going to do relative to the transportation of the 19
No,
students?
sir, that is a
Do not know that.
$64 credit.
The Pitt County School Board, I assume, is supportive of this
Yes, sir.
program and the fact that they're going to lose that 80,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
Dr. Johnson?
Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman. My biggest concern is transportation. If some of these students live in Farmville, they're going to have a long ride, and it's tough to have to get up real early and get on some sort of vehicle and
Well,
travel that far.
I guess we haven't actually completely formalized our school day and our school calendar. But one of the benefits that we enjoy from the North Carolina Board of Education is we can be granted waivers. And so one of the waivers that we will likely consider is that it's entirely possible that our students will not come to Vernon James Center 5 days a week. They may only come 4 days a week and do independent study or collaborative-based study through technology on that 5th day. The other thing is that we will not, because we're going to recognize, I had 2 daughters and I know how hard it is to get them up in the mornings. We're not starting this school at 8 o'clock in the morning. This school will probably not start until 9 or 9:30 in the morning and then go into the afternoon. And we're going to use those extra days. And so because it is a regional school and we're the first one, we're sort of the guinea pig out there on how this whole thing's going to work. And we're still trying to work those things out because we recognize that for a parent of a 7th grader or 8th grader or 9th grader that does not have a license, that don't want their kid to drive that far, transportation is a major concern.
Well, the next thing I don't believe you mentioned would be to build a residence hall. But anyway, thank you for coming.
talk to the legislature. Okay, Mr. Hammond?
No, well, he answered my question earlier.
Okay.
I thought I knew him, and
I'm not from Martin County.
he's a different set of pills.
He's an E-Peel.
Sir, ma'am?
An E, don't you have an E on the
I have an
last
E on
name?
the end of my name.
That's usually the
Both county pills, right?
Beaufort County Pills.
Mr. Webb.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Dr. Peel, thank you for being here. I think this is going to be great. I know there's going to be challenges with transportation, but anytime there's change, there's challenges, and we appreciate what you guys are doing. I think that this will be a benefit for Pitt County more than a negative because we're going to make our students competitive. Even though we're third in biotech jobs, those jobs aren't necessarily going to North Carolina or Pitt County students. They're going to people who already have programs like this in other states who can immediately, with their college credits, come here. And with the university system we have, there's no need for us not to catch up on the public school level. And I think it's worth doing. And we've got Benji and Worth are involved in it, and they're, I'm sure, keeping an eye on it. The school board's been supportive of it. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't, or try to solve all the problems here tonight. I appreciate your presentation. I appreciate what you're doing. I think it's going to be a really positive thing for Pitt County.
Dr. Peel, we are a big county, but we are a low-wealth big county.
Not compared to Washington County or Berkeley County, they're not a low-wealth county.
But
If I
thank
can,
you.
if I
Yes.
can make one thing I forgot that wasn't on the slides is the other part of this is professional development. And so as the teachers that we have go through their professional development, part of what this whole focus also is for the math and science teachers from our participating counties to come over and do internships and do learning of what they have so that really it's going to blossom out. And we're using this as the nucleus to be able to go out into the individual public schools and be able to do it. So I failed to mention that, so that is one of the big pluses. And so I appreciate the opportunity. If you have any questions, feel free to call us and we'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thank you for riding with him. He's going to take you out to supper, right? Okay, good. All right. We will consider, no, we have the tax collection report from Ms. Booker. If you'll come forward, please.
Thank you and good evening. If you'll refer to your collection report in your packet, The April 2012 combined collection rate of 95.80 is slightly below the April 2011 rate of 95.89, but it does exceed the April 2010 rate of 95.73. And staff continues to increase their efforts to try to bring this up. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, any questions?
I have one.
Yes, Mr. James?
How do we stand up this year compared to last year as far as total money received?
Take me just a minute to flip back to April.
Okay. The manager might know this. Do you know it?
Well, as you look at this, you're looking at a number of different silos in terms of property taxes, current year, past year. You're looking at motor vehicle, you're looking at public utilities, you're looking at personal property. As she's showing here, we are almost on the mark to where we were a year ago.
Well, that's all.
Last year, we ended up about 96.5 overall collection rate. We really want to end up at 97%, and we're thinking and trusting that we will end up at 97.
No, I'm not talking about 95 and 96. I'm talking about the total amount of millions of dollars
Sure.
that comes into, that we will have to spend, that we have this year and that we had last year.
Ms. Booker has that.
Comparing this year to date as opposed to last year to date,
Yes, ma'am.
this year is 79,718,909.
79.
Yes, sir, 718,909. Last year, 76,417,479.
It's on the back, it's on the back of that
Last
sheet.
year. So
Right
we
on
got
this
more
sheet.
this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
If you
I
will-
told you were telling us we had less. 3 million.
It's on this sheet.
If you'll look at your sheet, it'll break it out for you.
All right, you told me all I want to know.
Okay.
Got more ammunition.
But overall, it's not like we have more money. At the end of the year, we're still going to be probably about the same amount as a collection rate. We don't have a windfall of money at the end
No,
of the
sir.
year.
No, I didn't say that,
Okay,
but
just
Not
want to make sure
for
people understand.
dollars.
I was led kind of to the impression that because of reevaluation, we weren't gonna have no as much money this year to spend, but yet we are. As far as the money, we just got to be,
Well, reevaluation will set the rate for the July 1 budget for next year.
That's
Has
for
nothing
next
to do
year.
with this
okay,
year.
all right, we'll get those
That's
balances.
next
That's
year.
tomorrow.
We'll get
That's-
those at
That's
due
tomorrow's
time.
budget presentation and budget workshop for,
We'll get those in due time.
yes.
Any
Move
other
accept
questions?
this report.
Yes,
Second.
I do.
All
Second.
right, let's vote, please, to accept the report.
Move we accept the
you.
consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, let's vote, please. Okay, our next item is, Lolly, didn't see you behind the pole, for the approval of the paging solution.
After the lesson of Dr. Peel, I knew we had a couple of educators on there. I didn't want to get hit with a rule.
Okay, exactly.
I know.
Or
neither
get an
one of you ever
eraser
done that.
thrown at you.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, tonight, coming to you with a change order from Motorola as the last stage or phase of the radio system, and it's dealing with the paging. On April 25th, 2012, the Radio Project Committee met to discuss the different options for a Pitt County paging solution for fire and EMS. Federal Engineering was present, and they helped us and presented the options that we had. After discussion and with input from the fire and EMS representatives that serve on the project committee, the committee voted to recommend to the Board of Commissioners a 2-channel paging solution that utilizes the current VHF channels after the channels are narrowbanded. The narrowbanding is part of the contract already with Motorola. Additional equipment will be needed, to be able to simulcast pages using the Wintergreen and County Office Building Site. When I say COB, I'm talking about actually the 911 center.
Additional cash will be needed too, won't it?
Yes, sir, but with that, federal engineers work with Motorola. They've identified that about 500, well, the actual change order is $543,534. Details of that change order are in your agenda packet. The system, will tell you, only meets the 12.5 requirements. We have gone, I think you'll see from the 3 RFPs we put out, there was not any equipment that we could find that would meet a 6.25 voice paging. Finance states that this amount is into that budgeted amount that we had included for the overall radio system. So tonight we're asking that, if you will, to approve this change order from Motorola to continue with the paging system.
Okay. Any questions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Let's vote, please.
I got a question.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Altogether, how much has this radio system cost the county?
I think it's in the change order here, this one right here.
$4,669,000.
Yes, sir, and a
On
new
page
contract value.
77.
In the future, when they lower the band again, will we have to go through all this, buying this new equipment?
Let me answer that. The radio system itself, if you remember, the January 1, 2013 FCC mandate is to go from 25 megahertz to 12.5. The radio system does that. This radio system also takes us to some future point that if they narrow band again to 6.25, from 12.5 to 6.25, the radio system will be narrow banded compliant for that point in time. The paging system, which is the option you have before you tonight, there is no solution with a voice technology in it to take you down to 6.25. It does meet the 25 megahertz down to 12.5 megahertz FCC mandate for January 1, 2013.
Okay.
We'll vote, please. Everybody's voted, I think, Mr. Smith. Okay. All right.
Move we appoint Dr. Hardy to the Pitt Community Board of Trustees.
Second.
All right. Let's vote.
Move to reappoint the EMS Committee.
Okay, Mr. Hammonds, would you vote? This is the reappointment of Dr. Hardy to the, thank you. And we have a motion to reappoint the group for the EMS system as supported by the committee. Did we get a second?
Second.
Okay, let's vote. And we have another appointment, Mr. Elliott.
Item 4 is appointments to the animal cruelty investigators. This is basically county staff. You have on page 110, Michelle Whaley, William Christopher Arnold, Johnny Barnhill, and Fred Wade to be.
And all of these people have to be trained and have
Correct.
already gone through training.
Correct.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Let's vote.
You also have Bill Surgenson on that list, and he actually works in conjunction with the sheriff's office, and we use him as a cruelty investigator.
Correct, yes.
Okay, that passes, and thank you for telling us that, Ms. Bryant. So we'll add that to the people. We have a closed session. Madam Attorney, if you'll take us in to closed session, please.
It has been suggested that this board go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3 to consult with an attorney employed by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege, and also under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 to prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged or confidential pursuant to the laws of this state and the laws of the United States.
So move.
Second.
Okay, let's vote, please. Do we need a break, or are we gonna get it done? Yes, I'm fine.
Mr. James, you voted?
Yeah, I voted.
Okay. You got it.